WorldMagRacing.com, Magic and Dr. Miranda here to preview one of the many Grade 1 events at Saratoga on Saturday, August 27th, Traverse Day. We're looking at race 9, that's the Grade 1 Personal Ensign Stakes, and Dr. Miranda, only a field of 5, but really, who's missing from this field that you would want in here that's not? I mean, we've got so many great stars. Latruska's back, Clariere, Malathat after their close, fight in the Ogden Phipps. So excited for this race. Take us through and give us your thoughts.
Yeah, so I just really want to begin and say that I really feel like this is the Ogden Phipps replay plus Crazy Beautiful, because 4 of these 5 horses faced each other in June, and 3 of them finished in the top 3. I'm also super excited to be seeing this race again in person. I was there last year. I'm going to be there again this year. So if you see a very tired mom who kind of looks like a shell of me, just buy me a White Claw. So we're going to start off with the number 1 Latruska, who was your 2021 Eclipse Award winner for older dirt females. We have not seen her in about 2 months when she last ran in the Ogden Phipps and went from first place to last place, running a 50 buyer for that race and coming in 35 lengths behind everyone else. She had pace pressure to her outside by Search Results, who is in here once again, and she folded under the pressure. But I'm just going to toss that race out. I've heard a lot that she's kind of an all or nothing horse, but if you look back at her PPs, she's only lost 2 races in the last year. Her other loss came from the Breeders' Cup Distaff, and that was just such a freaking cluster because it's such a hot pace was set. Everyone was burned out, and a long shot with Marsh Lorraine just got the upset. Other than those 2 races, she has been on a tear. She won the Apple Blossom, the Royal Delta, the Spinster, won this exact race last year, the Fleur de Lis, so many more. She's been training amazingly. And the one thing that I do like is that Fausto had her run a mile workout earlier this month just to prep her for this 1 1/8 because she hasn't ran this distance since last November. She's going to want the lead, and she's going to have to keep it if she's going to want to win this race. The number 2 is Search Results, who, like I said, was also in the Ogden Phipps and stalked Latruska. And that's when Latruska folded, but then she was caught by both Clariere and Malathat, who are also in this race. She last raced at Monmouth last month, winning by 3 lengths. I think that Chad just used that race to kind of keep her fresh for this exact race. She's going to be pressing the pace again, but I'm not sure if they're going to be using her as aggressive as last time. The reason I say that is because she hasn't ran this distance since the Kentucky Oaks last year, where she finished behind Malathat. She may want to try to stay back just a little bit more and try to save something for the end like she had to do in the Oaks. She has some really good races under her belt, including the Ruffian. Gazelle has been working great at Saratoga. I just personally think that she's a step behind most of these horses when they are all running their best race. The number 3 is Clariere, who has really just came into her own. I was one of her biggest fans in her 3-year-old campaign. She was always gritty. She always finished on the board, but just couldn't quite get that G1 win until the Cotillion at Parks. She then went on to the Breeders' Cup Distaff. Already mentioned that, throwing that whole race away, but she did finish 3rd after being 7 wide a lot of that trip. She came back for the Apple Blossom, where she finished behind Latruska, and then won back-to-back against her 3-year-old rival with Malathat. She has popped 3 back-to-back over 100 buyers. She's just really in her prime right now, and Asmussen switching her from Ricardo to Rosario was probably one of his best decisions with this horse. The number 4 in here is Crazy Beautiful, who I'm just going to get right to the chase. I think she's a beautiful gray horse. She is talented, but I do not think she's on the same level as these horses. Now, she is very gritty as well and tries her best, but her best to me is like comparing the other horses just having an okay race. I don't think she's going to hit the board. I think that Kenny should keep her in some lower graded stakes or even ungraded, and that's really what her niche is. Lastly, we come to the number 5, Malathat. This was also one of my favorite horses. She went on a tear, being undefeated, winning the Ashland, and the Oaks, was upset by that fluke race with Merhuja in the CCA Oaks. Came back to win the Alabama Breeders' Cup Distaff, throwing that away, and then took some time off and won a G3. However, she has not won her last 2 races, and that is all thanks to the number 3 Clariere in here, who has really turned the tables on her this year. Each race has been very exciting, though. She lost by a bob and then by a length, so she's staying in there. Clariere has just gotten the better of her each time out. But this race, I think, is going to set up just a little bit different, in my opinion. She always likes to stalk and come from behind, so I'm just not sure if the pace is going to set up for her in this race. So with all of that said, my top pick is going to be the number 1 Latruska. Now, I want to say on the record, this is my first time ever picking her. I've always been against her. I think partially because she beat my girl Monomoy Girl, and I can't forgive her for that. But I think that she is the best horse in here. I think they have her trained to get into, I don't think they have her trained not to get into a speed duel again. And I think she's going to go gate to wire, though. Underneath, I believe that Malathaat's going to get the best of Clarier this time. So to try to make some money, because these prices are going to be so short, I'm going to do $1 straight exacta with Latruska and Malathaat. And then underneath, I'm going to do a $10 straight trifecta with Latruska, Malathaat, and then Clarier.
Yeah, I mean, even when a horse hits the board like that, if you get the prices above them, those trifectas are still going to pay really well. So Clarier, classy as they come, but so is Latruska, so is Malathaat. Again, a 5-horse field, but a hell of a 5-horse field. That's race 9 in Saratoga. Dr. Miranda, let the folks know where they can follow you for all your tips and insight, and how they can contact you to buy you a White Claw and kind of give you that re-energized battery motion at Saratoga.
At Miranda Bunky.
Make sure you head over to racingnews.com. We have free picks for every race, every track across the country, including Saratoga. You can also get the inside track to the Travers Stakes wagering guide available now at racingdudes.com. Click like before you leave. Hit subscribe. Make sure you visit youtube.com/racingdudes for all of our previews. We'll see you at the track.